Hi guys, it is the end of February and it's time for me to show you all of the palettes that I wore in February and my thoughts. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Andi. I'm really happy that you're here. We have 16 palettes. Some of these I wore 3 times, some of them I wore twice, some of them I only wore once. As always, I'm going to put up pictures if I took a photo. There's one look that I did not take a picture of. It was a work day. It was crazy. I was running late. It was a crazy day at work and I forgot to take a picture. So, but I will put the pictures up here, of my look that I did with the palettes. So let's just go ahead and get started. Want to? Okay. So the first one that I did was the On a Whimsy from ColourPop. This is no longer available. This is what she looks like. This is in my Project 3 Uses. If you're not familiar with my Project 3 Uses, I will link it in the cards up here. It's my way of weeding through my collection to see if there are things that I really don't like, things that I love, that I want to be, refamiliarize myself with, all of that kind of stuff. So this is the On a Whimsy Project 3 Uses. This is trash. It's a trash palette. Spoiler for my Project 3 Uses, it's a trash palette. In these pictures, one of them, which is a really bad picture, that one right there, I took at work in the bathroom. Very bad lighting. Very bad lighting. But it was this palette on its own. And I mostly used these shades here. I might have used a couple of these. I don't know. I am going to take these 2 shimmers. I'm going to take these 4 shimmers right here. I think I'm going to take them out and put them in a Z palette because the shimmers are really nice. The mattes are trash. So while using this, there were a couple of looks that I actually pulled another palette out and finished off the look with it because there's just no pigment in it, man. There's only been a couple. Like, look at that. This shade right here. Look at that. What are you going to do with that? This shade right here. There have been a couple of palettes from ColourPop that just did not do well for me. That is not as dark as what it should be. That is this shade right here. This one right here, I mean, it's okay, but it's very patchy. Look at that. It's not good. It's just not good. There have been a couple of, I'm all over the place. There have been a couple of ColourPop palettes, the Darth Vader one and the Of Quartz, which are really similar to each other and really similar to these shades right here. And I don't know if they are the same formula because I know that this came way before the Of Quartz and the Darth Vader. Now, I know there are a ton of people that love the Of Quartz palette. So, yeah, I mean, these are my opinions. These are how it worked for me. It may not work the same for you. But on one of the looks, I used the Through My Eyes palette. I got this in friend mail from Ash from Makeup and Chaos. And I'm pretty sure I used these shades down here. Which are my favorite shades in this palette. I love these berries down here, these 3 shades. I love them. I haven't played with this one yet, but it looks promising. And then the other look that I did with the On a Whimsy, I used the Plush Like Me, again, berry shades. I don't know why. Oh, this is very reflective. I'm pretty sure I went into this one and maybe these 2 here. So basically it was like I almost didn't use the On a Whimsy, but I did. I did use it. I had my Aspen highlighting palette from BH in my deck of panning. So I did use that as an inner corner quite a bit on these. Okay, moving on Twice, I used the Blushing Berries palette from Dose of Colors. I love this palette, you guys. I don't think it's available anymore. I bought mine on Poshmark. Now, I got mine for $7. I have seen them $12, $14, and for $12 or $14, completely worth it. You do pay shipping. You do pay shipping on Poshmark. But it is an all matte palette. So with this palette, one of the times I used it, I used some Super Shocks that I had in my Shop My Stash. So that, because it's just all matte, and I have to have shimmer, guys. I have to. And then the other time I used it with the shimmers here in the Ménage à Moi palette. But yes, I really like this. I really like this a lot. And I'm really glad I bought it. I have been looking at some of the other ones because, you know, I need them. No, I don't. But I've been looking at a couple. There's a mauves one, and I think there's like something that's like sunset or desert. Or, I don't know. But anyway, so I used the Ménage à Moi with that, but I also used the Ménage à Moi twice. Yes, twice by itself. This was in my Shop My Stash. Both of these were in my Shop My Stash because it was Valentine's Day season, right? It was time for the pinks and the berries, and honestly, this is one of my favorite ColourPop palettes. It is. It's so pretty. Now, I could do without these two sequined mattes. There's one there and one there. I could do without those. I'm not a big fan of the sequined mattes. And I'm not a big fan of this glitter right here. But the shimmers are so nice. And the mattes are beautiful. They blend very well. Very well. Okay, next up, twice I used the Natasha Denona Ayana palette. This is also in my Project 3 Uses. I think that this is a beautiful formula. I really do. I am not a fan of the color story at all. At all, you guys. I am not a fan of the color story. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with this yet. It's very muddy. It looks like mud. It looks like dirt, you guys. It looks like dirt. It has more of a green cast to it, like a green brown. And that's not my favorite thing in the world. So I still don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. If I'm going to pass it on, declutter it, what have you. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I haven't decided. Yet. Next up, the BH Lit List. This was BH Cosmetics. This was their Christmas palette in 2021, I believe. And you know what? It looks like I haven't used it hardly, but I've used this quite a bit. I used it twice this month, and I used it after Ash from Makeup and Chaos. After I watched them do a look with it, I'm like, oh my gosh. I think we bought ours at around the same time. We had been talking about it. And I've used it like 5 or 6 times total. That's such a great palette, you guys. I'm not real big on the glitters at all, but there are so many beautiful shimmers and mattes in this palette. Yeah, I love it. I freaking love it. Next up, we have Violet Voss. This is the Pro Eyeshadow hashtag palette. And this is a beautiful neutral palette, but it does have these pops of purple down here. I only used this once this month. I did get this in friend mail and birthday mail, actually, from Lori Latimer, sisfantastic. And yeah, I love this palette. I do. I love this palette. And then next up was also a Violet Voss. And this is the Violet Voss Pro Holy Grail palette. And this is some neutral goodness right here. I got this in friend mail from Ash from Makeup and Chaos. I used this for my my Beauty and the Soul Challenge, my collab with Leanna Dalton. I will put that up here if you didn't check that out. That was probably one of the favorite looks I've ever done on my channel. I've said that before about certain looks. Yeah, because that is my favorite look to do. And I don't do it very often, and I should. I should do it all the time because I love it. But, you know, I gotta play around with other things. But yeah, I love this palette so much. I really want to dig into, because I have used these berries down here, but I mostly gravitate toward this area here, the cool neutrals, which is my whole ass jam all the time. And so I love both of those palettes. Are such great formulas. Both of the Violet Voss Pro palettes. Highly recommend. I don't know if they still have them on Boxy, Ipsy, whatever. If you find them on Poshmark or Mercari or whatever, they're great. I highly recommend. Next up, my girl, Erica Conger and I did a collab using the She's In Parties from Melt Cosmetics. And that is what she looks like. And she is stunning. Let me just say, this shade right here, you know, you're seeing it and it looks like a bright pinky purple. It is a duochrome, you guys. It has a shift to it. It's very like pale lavender, cool pale lavender. Look at that shift. Can you see it? Oh, this palette. Now, I did have a little bit of fallout with this palette that I wasn't expecting, because if I remember right, I only have two other melt palettes. And the one I haven't used yet, but the Amor y Mariposa, which I love, it's one of my favorite palettes. I don't remember the fallout. So I did have some fallout from this lady here. But I don't care. It was beautiful. I loved the look I did. It was a Valentine's Day collab, and I really wanted to go more like pinky, and I ended up going pretty dark purple. Oh well, that's where I went. Next up was the Revolution Bart the Raven Treehouse of Horror. Okay, so this was a collab talking about trends. It was a collab with Ash and Leanna Dalton talking about the trends of 2023. We were kind of poking fun at them. So I did a very grungy look with this. Now, before I tell you what I think of the palette, it was a dumpster fire, okay? The video is a pure dumpster fire. It's fine. It's fine. It was all in good fun. However, this palette is really great. You know, I have a couple of Revolution palettes. I have 4 or 5 Revolution palettes. I like them all equally. I really do. It is a good formula. The palettes that I have the 3 Batman palettes. And then I have a Revolution Pro Marilyn Monroe, which is stunning. So this was just some cheapy little thing on sale that I picked up for like $7, just so that I didn't have to pay shipping. But it's really great. This is a great fall-winter palette. I've used it a few times, and I love it, you guys. I do. I love it. You know, the shimmers aren't amazing, but the mattes are nice, and they blend really, really well. Like, this is one of the shimmers. It's all right. It's okay. It's pretty. It is a shimmer, but the mattes blend very nicely. And so I gotta say that I like it. I'm glad I bought it. I even thought about, like, should I declutter this? No, because I like it. Why am I going to declutter it? Okay. Next up, I did a full face of e.l.f. And I used both the Rose Water and the Berry Bad. I'll open these up because there's a glare. The Rose Water and the Berry Bad. The Rose Water I've had for quite a while. The Berry Bad was a recent purchase, so that when I was preparing for my full face of e.l.f., that is what these look like. And I thought that they would make a good palette, like a palette together type thing. Although these are very cool, and these tend to be a little bit more warm. But I used mostly this I believe I used this shade and this shade. And then I used, this is my inner corner. And then I used the e.l.f. highlighter, the baked highlighter for my lid. And I really liked that look. I really liked it a lot. Okay, so next up we have the ColourPop Creamsicle. I think I have 5 of these little quads. And I don't know why, I just never gravitated toward them. I never did. I've had a couple in like mystery boxes, ColourPop mystery boxes that I have either put in giveaways or whatever. But the last few that I got in the mystery boxes, I was like, I'm going to keep them, see if I like them. I love them. Why? So I have, matter of fact, I have the Orange Fizz one that was in my overstock stash type thing. And I just put it in with my palettes because I'm like, I love these. So I used the Creamsicle. I was playing around. I've been playing around with different ways to do a halo eye or whatever because I feel like they're a little difficult. And I don't think that you can accomplish that with every palette. But this, I think, did a beautiful halo eye. I was just kind of playing around. Yeah, and it happened. The next one that I used was the Sorbet. This was in my recent ColourPop mystery box. Now, it wasn't my favorite mystery box I've ever gotten, but it was okay. And I'm really happy to have this because I had been wanting this one in particular because this, again, whole jam. That's my jam right here. And yeah, I love it. It's so pretty. And I love the look that I did with it. I really do. And this is like a whole look. You can do a whole look with this palette. You can do a whole look with this palette. I love that. Especially for travel or whatever. Not that I travel. But if I did, I would take them. Okay, you guys, the last one that I used is the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana. This is a very new purchase for me. I got this on sale for $50 on Sephora. And this is what she looks like. And beautiful. I used these 4 shades right here. And that is what I am wearing today. I did take a picture. I did pop up the picture. But so you can see, this is what I'm wearing today. And it was a freaking dream. I have heard different reviews of this palette saying it's not as good as the other Mothership palettes. I don't have a lot to compare it to. I do have the Mothership 4 that was kindly gifted to me from Leanna Dalton. I have used it a couple of times. It is amazing. I love it. It's beautiful. But I really enjoyed that. No, did I use the most colorful? Did I use the most colorful shades in the palette? No, I used these cool neutrals right here. But they were so nice. And the shimmer, I used the lightest one. Which one's the lightest one? This one right here. I use that as my inner corner and on the front part of my lid. And I use this on the rest of my lid. I use this on my whole lid and underneath the shimmer and this in my outer corner. And it blended beautifully. Yes, this is actually in my deck of panning. I have to use it 10 times. 10 times. And I'm going to enjoy it. You give me a colorful palette, and I'm going to go for the neutrals in that palette every time. There might be 2. I'm going to use them. I'm going to use them every time. Yes, I am. I will use the other shades in this palette. I will, I promise. Because otherwise it would be a waste of money to not. I really want to use this one right here. It looks really light on camera, but it is a blue periwinkle silver. You guys, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I did not swatch this palette when I bought it on camera, but I did swatch it at home. So I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, if you look at it, like you could use these 4. You could incorporate this green here with that. You have the pinks, the purples. You have these warm tones over here. I mean, there are many. There's 2 blues right here. You could use those with the dark brown. I mean, there are many, many looks that can be done with this palette. And I'm really happy that I bought it. It was a splurge for me. But for $50, I was kind of talked into it from some influencer friends of mine. So it happens. You know, we influence each other so much. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today for my February palettes. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of them. Let me know if you have any other opinions other than what my opinion was for these palettes, if you own them. And thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. Until our next adventure, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.